Lily waits in the dim shuttle bay while the station lights flicker like cold stars. She holds a small translator slate and keeps her breath slow and calm. Megan stands beside her with a first aid kit and a steady gaze. Both speak in quiet voices and watch the hatch that leads to the alien craft. An alarm hums in the ribs of the station. But no one runs now. Running is done, and now there is only waiting. News said the envoy ship came in. Peace news. With a soft hiss like a sigh from the glow steps, a tall figure wrapped in woven silver. Her name on the manifest is Sira. Her eyes move like water in low gravity. Her hands are empty and openly steps forward with her slate and a small bow. She speaks in slow English first, then taps a phrase she built from shared math. Sira tilts her head as if listening to a distant bell. A chord of gentle sound folds out from a small crest at her throat. It is not a word that Lily knows, but it is not. A threat. Megan checks the air scan and gives a nod. Lily offers cloth ribbon as a welcome sign, and Sira accepts it with care. She presses the ribbon to her chest as if testing its weight in the world's bay. Door closes behind them, and the station returns to its low hum. Command speaks in Lily's ear and asks if the envoy is well. Lily answers with calm words and leads Sira down a narrow hall lit by soft strips. Sira looks at the hands on the wall signs. She traces the human shape on the emergency poster. She sees the bold line that shows a way out, and she breathes a slow, breathy. Reach the arbitration room, but the door does not open. A red band glows across the frame like a shut. Megan checks the panel and shakes her head. She says, "Power is rerouting, and the room is not safe." Lily thinks of the warning in the envoy packet and feels a small knot in her chest. Take a different path. The station map shows a clear line to an old cargo ring that was quiet for years. The ring is cold and has wide windows that look down on the blue curve of Earth. It is a place where people used to watch storms and drink coffee in slow mornings. It is a place with dust on rails and the hush of sleeping Mashna. Sarah walks to the window and watches the world turn. She rests her palm on the glass as if the whole planet is a friend at a door. Lily stands near and explains that the storms are smaller. This season she speaks of winds and oceans and the numbers that tell the future. Sira listens, and her crest glows. A soft, pale tone. Megan asks for the warning that the envoy must share. She says they will not judge. She says they want truth and time to make a plan. Sira lowers her hand and turns to them. She touches her crest, and a ripple of sound fills the ring like a bell made of rain. Slate translates only a part of it, dark seeds in the drift between stars. Silent machines that learn and divide signals, cut and paths erased, voices pulled away from one another until no voice is heard. Lily feels the knot grow tighter. Sarah moves her hands in slow patterns and points to the window, and then to them. The slate finds a clearer path now. It says, "A silent swarm comes. We have seen it unmake 3 homes we followed. Its wake to warn those who are still awake. We cannot break it with war. We can only slow it with weave. We need a partner who can tie threads through chaos." Word weave shows a cluster map on the slate. It looks like a net that flexes with the tide. Megan asks how humans can help with a weave like this. Sarah steps closer and reaches for Lily's slate with gentle care. She draws a line that loops through many points at once. Lee understands, not with full knowledge, but with the soft click of a new idea. Humans make loose plans, and then they fix them on the fly. Humans try and fail, and try again, and call it play, and work, and art, all in one. Maybe that is the weave. Sarah means. Station shutters, and the lights go low. A voice in the hall says all defense nodes are locked by unknown code. The voice says, "Do not engage." Lily and Megan look at each other. Sira's crest flickers with a quick alarm. Together move to the cargo control bay. Consoles show a rain of static like hail on old glass. Lily breathes slow and calls up the hand tools they teach to kids in code camp. She does not fight the lock head on. She sketches a side door with simple loops and old tricks. She writes like someone patching a quilt from many small pieces of cloth. Megan holds the door and keeps watch. Sira hums a long tone that steadies their hands. First loop slips past a frozen gate. The second loop sets a marker that looks like a harmless label. The third loop ties both markers together with a soft thread. That no filter expects signals open like shutters at dawn. Lily routes power to a safe corridor and brings life to a manual rail that does not speak. The new code at all old machines wake up with a small click, and a ready light. Megan guides a set of countermeasure drones onto the manual rail. They carry mesh canisters, not weapons. The plan is to throw nets at the unknown scripts in the near field and slow them if the swarm is already here. The mesh might buy them minutes, sometimes minutes. Or what save a life and a home and a hopesera? Steps into the railcar with them. She places her palm on the mesh and sings a thin, bright line. The mesh reacts as if it remembers a pattern it once knew. The slate calls it resonance bonding. Lily smiles at Megan and says, "This could work." They ride the rail to the outer ring. Earth rolls below, like a promise they cannot break. The hatch opens to the pylon air, and a fine glitter moves past the windows. It looks like dust and old light, but the slate calls it active code in a physical mist. It dances and presses a slow pressure on sensors, as if testing the skin of the station. Megan counts to 3 without using numbers. 1 breath, 2 breath, 3 breath. Then she throws the first mesh and watches it bloom like a sea flower. Sierra sings the bonding line, and the mesh hardens into a living weave. The glitter hesitates and curls awayly, throws the second mesh in a cross pattern. She ties the old rail signals to the new weave and lets them talk like friends at a long table. The mist slows at the edge of the net and tries new angles. The weave flexes and does not tear. Station lights rise a little, and the voice in the hall grows. Comm backup systems report stable. A small window opens on the slate with a message from command. It says you have local control. Keep the weave up. More help is on the way. Zara looks at Lily and Megan with a quiet kind of pride. It's not praise from above, but respect from a partner who also worked. And worried and hope, she touches the ribbon on her chest. She sings a tone that sounds like morning, the stillness. After effort, they sit on the floor of the outer ring. They share water and small pieces of dried. Lily asks for a true name. For the swarm, Sierra draws a circle and a gap and a second circle that does not quite meet the first. The slate offers a simple word, hunger. Megan nods and says hunger can be guided. It can be led to empty fields and taught to pass by the homes where people sleep. We can set trails that look bright. We can give it puzzles that hold it. We can make a maze so wide it forgets to eat. Sarah listens and adds new links to the weave map. She shows how her people turn sound into lines and lines into paths that machines like to follow. Lily adds human loops that mistake and correct and mistake again. The slate builds a shared design that is both art and plan, and prayer. Hours later, the sky outside darkens along the curved cities, light up like constellations. Drawn by kids with crayons, the mist drifts away from the station and follows a new track that the weave has set. Sensors report a fall in pressure and a rise in clear. Signal command asks for a name for the joint method. Megan smiles and says, "Call." Its small, brave hand. Sierra hums a yes. Lily writes it on the slate and sends it with a quiet hearth. Railcar hums back to the safe ring crew, meet them with soft cheers and tired eyes. No one shouts, no one boasts. They touch shoulders and hold for a second longer than normal. Sarah stands at the window again and watches the world with the ribbon on her chest. Lily stands with her, speaks of rivers and coffee and mornings when the air smells like rain on dust. Megan speaks of kids who will learn to weave with code and sound. They will practice on games and share their tricks and teach each other with joy. Envoy mission is not over, but the first night is safe. The station lights settle into a warm rhythm, and the alarms sleep. They will build a larger net with partners below and above. They will pass the design to far stations that wade in thin light. They will listen for hunger and lead it away again and again until it fades like a dream after dawn. Sarah's crest glows a steady, calm tone. Lily closes her eyes and lets the sounds settle into her bones. Megan looks at both of them and feels the simple truth that lives under all plans: people are stronger when they stand together and keep trying with small, brave hands. Earth turns and the station turns with it. Lights blink over oceans and plains on the old Cargo ring, three figures rest by the window. They do not sleep yet, but they are no longer afraid. They watch the curve of the world and the quiet path of the weave, and they breathe in time with a home that is still here.